Patch 11.4 brings 2 new items, spicy balance changes, a new Conquest objective, and more. Here's your quick patch day breakdown to get you started. Kicking it off with skins, Vizier Egbert Beakington Ra and Dapper Cat Bacchus are in the new cross-gen pass, Nurse Nightmare Izanami is in the Operation chest, and Phantom Seas Poseidon and Trash Goblin Scylla are in the Immortal Honor event. Shutdown rewards have been nerfed this patch for low-level players killing a high-level player across all game modes. The Bull Demon King has been added to Conquest and resides in the Fire Giant pit from 2 minutes to 15 minutes in the match. As a result of this, Fire Giant now spawns at 15 minutes instead of 10. Killing the Demon King grants global gold and XP, as well as a team-wide buff that lets allies see enemy wards for 60 seconds. Silver buff now has an additional effect that reduces your active cooldowns by 0.5 seconds every 5 seconds. For Assault, you can now reroll twice in the game mode. Bastions have been added to the tier 2 tower that give mitigations to the tower until you destroy them, and the side lane Health Orb has a delayed spawn at 2 minutes 30 rather than 1 minute into the match. All currently banned dual gods have been unbanned, and this is the new ban list. Pause the video if you're interested in further reading. Moving on to item balance though, first up we have a major nerf to Bauble going from 2450 gold to 2900 gold. Conduit Gem's minion damage has been decreased from 2 per stack to 1 per stack. We also have 2 completely new items coming in 11.4. First up is Stormseeker, which is a new bow that costs 1900 gold and comes with 15 physical power and 20% attack speed on the base. The passive grants you a permanent stack of 0.15% attack speed every time you basic attack an enemy god. And Equinox is a new katana that replaces Golden Blade and costs 2200 gold with 25 physical power, 20% attack speed and 7% movement speed. The passive heals you 2 plus 1 health per level doubled against gods when you hit an enemy from the front, and deals 15 plus 3 per level extra physical damage when hitting an enemy from the back. Arendite gets a 100 gold cost reduction and a buff to its passive damage and duration. Gem of Isolation and Frostbound Hammer both receive a shorter internal cooldown this patch. Fighter's Mask now increases your damage taken by less per level, but also increases your damage dealt by a bit less too. Divine Barrier gains an increased deploy range and reduced cooldown at all ranks, and a stronger basic attack damage buff at rank 3. Vision Shard's ward radius has been increased, and finally for items, Wing Shard's movement speed buff has been increased by 5%. Moving into God balance, first up is Izanami, who now has a stronger base and stacking slow on her 2, as well as a reduced cooldown on her 3. Yu Huang's passive Dao stack time has been cut in half, the burn damage on his 1 has been increased, and the power scaling on the projectile and AoE portion of his 2 have been increased. Maui now gains more attack speed per level, has a flat 1.5 second stun duration on his 3 instead of scaling up, and a flat mana cost as well. Lancelot's passive has been shifted to only require 40 stacks instead of 60, but still gives the same total stats. The damage on his 2 has also been increased slightly, and Quick Turn has had its cooldown halved. King Arthur can now proc basic attack item effects on his autos. Changa Rabbit now moves faster, she gains more movement speed when using her dances, and her increased damage taken debuff on enemies now lasts longer. Heimdall's sword on his 1 now always spawns 55 units away rather than placing it where you want, and has a uniform landing time no matter where the sword is when you reactivate it. Surtur's 1 has been rebalanced, the stack count goes from 200 to 999, but the damage per stack has been reduced from 5 to 1, meaning the maximum damage is effectively unchanged. He now gains 1 stack when hitting a non-god, 2 stacks when killing a non-god, 3 stacks when hitting a god, and 5 stacks when killing a god using his 1. There's also a few quality of life changes coming this patch as well, with Nut now being able to cancel her 1 early and refund unspent ammo. Cupid's hearts now spawn more clustered together. Cabrakan no longer loses his protection buff from his 2 over time. Hercules now has an unlocked camera in both his 2 and ult, and he can re-aim the ult during the pre-fire animation. And finally, Achilles' targeter for his 3's projectile no longer appears unless the ability key is held on quick cast, and no longer appears at all on instant cast. There's also been a slew of ability and basic attack timing tweaks to better match their animation in this patch. I'll show them briefly on screen here, but won't go into detail on all of them. Full notes are in the description if you want to check them out in full. But that's everything you need to know about patch 11.4 before jumping in. Good luck in your games, and catch you guys later. Peace out, you nerds.